2021's Mortal Kombat may be a faithful video game movie, but it still makes some major changes to the game's classic combatants. Here are all the major differences between the characters in the games and the movie. Sub-Zero has become a standard-bearer of the Mortal Kombat series, to the point that the phrase Mortal Kombat likely conjures his enigmatically masked face in many fans' minds. He's appeared as a playable fighter in every single new Mortal Kombat game since the very first one arrived in arcades in 1992, so it makes sense that Sub-Zero freeze blasts his way onto the silver screen as the 2021 movie's primary villain. But there's a little detail about this cinematic Sub-Zero most viewers aren't going to pick up on, which reveals him to be a different Sub-Zero than the one featured in the modern slate of Mortal Kombat games.
Behind!
Sub-Zero begins the movie under his given name, Bi-Han, but Bi-Han is not the Sub-Zero most Mortal Kombat players know and love, unless their frame of reference is firmly rooted in the early 90s. Indeed, Bi-Han is the original Sub-Zero, featured in the very first Mortal Kombat game. But in that inaugural game, Scorpion kills Bi-Han. In subsequent entries, his younger brother, Kuai Liang, takes up the Sub-Zero mantle. It is Kuai Liang, rather than Bi-Han, who appears as Sub-Zero in pretty much every game since 1993's Mortal Kombat 2. The exception to this occurs in the 2011 Mortal Kombat game, in which both versions of the character are featured. Scorpion's origins are humble. His first design is exactly the same as Sub-Zero's, save for his yellow color scheme. Since those early days, however, Scorpion has gone on to become one of the most iconic Mortal Kombat characters around, second only to his icy counterpart. He goes by his birth name, Hanzo Hasashi, for most of the 2021 movie, and isn't featured as heavily as many fans might have been expecting. In fact, he dies in the prologue, and doesn't reappear until he gets his revenge on Sub-Zero in the final minutes of the film.
Get over here!
There are two key differences between Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat movie and Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat games. In the first game, as in the movie, Scorpion is driven to hunt down Sub-Zero after the Cryomancer kills his family, or so he believes. According to the game's lore, it is actually Netherrealm demon Quan Chi who commits the atrocious killing, but Scorpion doesn't learn this until multiple entries later. Related to this point is the second key difference between the cinematic Scorpion and his game-bound counterpart. The movie introduces a major new twist to his origin, a surviving heir. In 2021's Mortal Kombat, Hanzo's youngest daughter manages to survive the massacre and goes on to continue a bloodline that eventually results in the birth of Cole. Aside from newbie Cole and his family, Sonya Blade is the only classic Mortal Kombat character to get a brand new character arc in the 2021 film. This movie brings a new facet to the complex lore of Mortal Kombat, the Dragon Mark. The Dragon Mark is a small brand in the shape of the Mortal Kombat logo and is what designates fighters as combatants, and gives them their Arcana-based powers. Cole is born with his Dragon Mark, but many of the movie's fighters earn theirs in the only other way a person might hope to do so. They kill someone who already has the mark. When we meet Sonya early on, she is unmarked. Any Mortal Kombat fan could tell you that it's not a group of Earthrealm protectors without Sonya Blade, so it's not a surprise that this state of affairs doesn't last. This is the core of Sonya's story in Mortal Kombat. Her journey ends when she takes the Dragon Mark from Kano by killing him with a pretty gnarly stab through the head. He's a suitable victim for Sonya, given their long-running rivalry in the Mortal Kombat games and comics. Kano, as depicted in the 2021 movie, is a foul-mouthed mercenary who feels very much in keeping with the spirit of the game character, with one notable exception. The vast majority of the Mortal Kombat game's storytelling positions Kano as the nemesis of Sonya Blade and Jax, so it's a bit of a twist to see him helping Liu Kang train Cole in the 2021 film. Or is it? We hate to ruin the fun and suspense, but any Mortal Kombat fan worth their salt can tell you that Kano is the master of betrayal. Without completely giving away the details of the movie, let's just say that Mortal Kombat delivers on Kano and Sonya Blade's rivalry, and makes Kano the lovable scumbag he truly is.
Beauty.
Another interesting difference between Kano of the movie and Kano of the games lies in his status within the Black Dragon clan. In the current timeline of the games, Kano is the group's leader, but in the new film, he is merely a member. The only other thing missing is his cybernetic heart, which allows him to shoot out blasts from his chest to annihilate his foes. Hopefully, we'll be seeing a little of that action in subsequent Mortal Kombat movies. Of all the main characters featured in 2021's Mortal Kombat, Jax is the only fighter who isn't part of the first game's roster. Introduced in Mortal Kombat 2, Special Forces agent Jax Briggs instantly immortalized himself, and has appeared as a playable character in almost every Mortal Kombat game since. Unless you haven't touched the series since his introduction in MK2, you probably noticed something off about Jax at the start of the movie, or to be specific, two things. That's right, in the movie, Jax has normal human arms. Ever since Mortal Kombat 3, Jax has been known known best for his titanium cybernetic arms, which allow him to go toe-to-toe with dark sorcerers and outright gods. This might seem like a shocking departure few fans would be able to embrace, let alone get excited about, but consider this. Now we get to see this transformation happen in all its gory glory. In this rendition of the Mortal Kombat story, it is Sub-Zero who brutally freezes and dismembers Jax. He gets his shiny synthetic limbs just in time to kick plenty of Outworld butt and absolutely destroy Reiko with his iconic headclap fatality. A warrior monk and champion of Earthrealm, Liu Kang usually acts as the protagonist of the Mortal Kombat game series. This was directly translated to film in the original 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. The 2021 film, in contrast, introduces Cole Young as the new main character, pushing Liu Kang into a mentor role. This is a serious departure from the much larger role Liu Kang typically plays in Mortal Kombat stories, which is made even more dramatic by the fact that this chosen one takes a backseat to many other major players in the film. Liu Kang's design in the 2021 movie is inspired by his look in the early Mortal Kombat games, as is the case with many of the film's other fighters. Noticeably absent from his cinematic arsenal are the nunchaku he uses as a weapon in the PlayStation 2 trilogy of 3D Mortal Kombat games. Those nunchaku were recently brought back as Kang's primary weapon in 2019's Mortal Kombat 11. Anyone who has only checked out that game will find Liu Kang's silver screen fighting style to be quite different from what they've come to expect. Slicing through his opponents with his unforgettable wide-brimmed hat, Shaolin monk Kung Lao does a whole lot of killing and not much talking in 2021's Mortal Kombat. That's far from a complaint. We're all here for the action after all. The new movie thankfully ticks most of the boxes when it comes to this fan-favorite character. Of course, his iconic hat, famously inspired by alpha henchman Oddjob's topper in 1964's Goldfinger, is a bloody tour de force, but Kung Lao also does plenty of teleporting throughout the movie's runtime. Mentioned too is his lineage. He is a descendant of the great Kung Lao, legendary champion of Earthrealm. The 2021 film also adds another new wrinkle to the mythology of Mortal Kombat. Here, Liu Kang and Kung Lao are cousins. Antagonist Shang Tsung doesn't take up much screen time at all in the 2021 film, despite the fact that he's Liu Kang's rival and the main villain of the first Mortal Kombat game. In this movie, the rivalry between Shang Tsung and Liu Kang isn't emphasized, though there is some groundwork laid for it in a potential future movie. Absent too is any mention of Tsung's origin as a Chinese human born in Earthrealm, who was given his powers over dark sorcery by Outworld Emperor Shao Kahn. That's not where the differences end either. Aesthetically, the Shang Tsung we see in the movie doesn't resemble any of the Shang Tsungs we've seen in the Mortal Kombat games. Shang Tsung of the games is said to have been based on Lo Pan, the villain of John Carpenter's beloved film Big Trouble in Little China. In the 2021 Mortal Kombat film, however, Shang Tsung is decked out in heavy armor that does not remotely resemble the light robes he started off wearing in the games. The only characteristics the Mortal Kombat movie nails regarding Shang Tsung are his shape-shifting abilities and his insatiable thirst for human souls.
Your soul is mine!
Raiden doesn't get a whole lot of time in the ring in the new Mortal Kombat movie, unless you count the end, where he lightning shocks Shang Tsung back to Outworld. Referred to by Liu Kang and Kung Lao only as Lord Raiden, the God of Thunder ends up in a similar place as Shang Tsung does in this film, taking a bit of a backseat to the action. Raiden is the leader and the eldest of the Earthrealm protectors in the film. When it comes to the games, however, he's a lot more important. Raiden is one of the few characters who makes an appearance in every Mortal Kombat game, and he's playable in all of them, except Mortal Kombat 3. While this god only has a small role in the film, his silver screen design definitely resembles the Raiden we see in most Mortal Kombat games. He's got his defining straw hat and his unmistakable robe ensemble. Really, it's all but identical to what he sports in recent Mortal Kombat games. It would have been nice to see him flash his moves while wearing these classic duds, but you can't have everything you want, even when you're a Thunder God. A four-armed Shokan from Outworld, Goro is one of the most instantly recognizable Mortal Kombat characters ever designed. In the 1995 movie, Goro is portrayed by actor Tom Woodruff, wearing a mind-boggling complex costume, with actors Kevin Michael Richardson and Frank Welker providing Goro's speaking voice and vocal effects, respectively. The suit weighed roughly 125 pounds and was operated through a complicated combination of puppetry, animatronics, and Woodruff's own physicality. Though 1995's Goro looks dated to modern eyes, it's hard not to be impressed by the sheer volume of practical effects work that went into creating him. The 2021 reboot, in contrast, takes the opposite approach, going full-on CGI. This new digitally smooth Goro gets an introduction and a short fight scene that sees him go up against Cole. Not much is explained about Goro in Mortal Kombat, and as a result, plenty of fun backstory is omitted. In the game series lore, Goro is the one who killed the great Kung Lao, ancestor to the hat-throwing Kung Lao of the main timeline. This makes Goro a legendary warrior warrior, but such prestige doesn't come across at all in the 2021 film. Instead, he feels like a henchman. Also noticeably absent to anyone who mains Goro in the game series are the green fireballs he is known to shoot from his arm and mouth. The single deepest cut the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie makes in terms of characters has got to be Nitara, the vampire from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Introduced in the 5th main game of the series, only ever appearing again as a playable character in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Nitara was an inspired choice to include in the movie, yet the Nitara of the silver screen is not exactly the Nitara of the games. Most notably, the new movie makes a few modernizing edits to her aesthetic. For starters, her outfit is a lot less revealing. Secondly, her red bandana, which doubles as an eye patch for her left eye, is nowhere to be found. Aside from her bat-like wings, Nitara's signature look rests upon the bandana and the charm she wears around her neck, which allows her to warp between realms. Both of these defining accessories are completely missing from the film. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.